Every 4 years, the world stops, streets go quiet, cafes turn into stadiums, families gather around screens, and millions of people hold their breath for one simple thing: a ball crossing a line. But the World Cup was not created just to give football more matches. It was created because football had become too big for someone else's stage. Before the World Cup, football already had passion. It had crowds, it had rivalries, it had nations ready to prove themselves. But international football did not have a true home. Its biggest global stage was the Olympic Games, and at first that seemed enough. The Olympics had flags, medals, crowds, and worldwide attention. But there was one hidden problem. Football was growing faster than the Olympic system around it. The Olympics were built around amateur sport, but football was becoming serious, professional, emotional. The best players were no longer always simple amateurs. Some trained like workers, some played like artists, some carried the pride of entire cities and nations. So football faced a dangerous question. How can you crown the best team in the world if the best players are not always allowed to play? Inside FIFA, the idea started to grow. Football needed its own tournament. Not inside the Olympics, not as a side event, not under rules made for another dream. Jules Rimet, the president of FIFA, believed this dream could become real. He had seen how powerful Olympic football had become, and that success pushed him toward a bigger idea: a world championship separate from the Olympic Games. Then, in 1928, FIFA made the move. At the Amsterdam Congress, FIFA approved the launch of a new tournament, a tournament that would not belong to the Olympics. It would belong to football. This was the turning point. Football was no longer asking for space on someone else's stage. It was building its own trophy, its own story, its own world champion. But creating the World Cup was one thing. Proving that the world would care was something else. The first tournament was held in Uruguay in 1930. Only 13 teams came. There were no giant TV deals, no billion viewers, no global machine. Just 13 teams testing an idea that could have failed. Then came the final. Uruguay against Argentina. Two neighbors, two rivals, one stadium shaking with noise. This was not just a match. It was the answer to the question, can football stand on its own? Uruguay won 4-2. The host nation became the first World Cup champion. But the bigger victory belonged to football itself, because in that moment, football proved it no longer needed to borrow a stage. It had created its own. That is the hidden reason the World Cup was created, not just to find the best team, but to solve a deeper problem. Football had become too emotional, too popular, and too powerful to remain trapped inside another event. The Olympics gave football a platform, but the World Cup gave football a kingdom, a place where small nations could dream, where giants could fall, where one goal could make history. So the next time the World Cup begins and the world goes silent before the first whistle, remember this: it did not begin as a perfect global festival. It began with a problem. Football had no throne. And the solution was simple but powerful. Give the world's game a world of its own. The world is full of things we use, watch, and trust without knowing why they exist. That is what we uncover here. Subscribe now and comment the next hidden story you want us to investigate.